that everyone you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone. We believe that you can be a millionaire in all six aspects of health. We believe there's six of them: physical, mental, intellectual, social, spiritual, and financial. Today, our episode is going to be on mental health, pets, a lot of emotional support animals, etc., etc. In the spirit of authenticity, I actually don't meet our guests or know who they are until about 15 minutes before the show, and we don't talk or persuade each other on certain ways to think. So you have three awesome guests here. They're going to have their own life journey and their own tips on how to improve your mental health with pets. Audience, please, we love your questions. Comment, ask questions. We'll answer them live. It adds a lot more fun to the show, too. If you are a podcast host and you need any guests for your podcasts, please reach out to us. We got 4 right here. We love being guests and sharing all of our knowledge in the world. The whole point of Millions Are Made is to take knowledge from this person and that person and give it to you so we can all grow as a society. We also have 4 sponsors that I have to go over. So if you want to be a sponsor, we have sponsorship opportunities too. It's really fun and cool. First up, we have Gunther's Adventures. Gunther's Adventures is your one-stop shop for adventure inspiration and cleverly designed Toyota upgrades. Whether you're a seasoned overlander, 4-wheel driver, or a weekend warrior, Gunther's helps you push your Toyota further. Their link is dropped below. Check them out if you want to watch crazy 4-wheel drive and upgrades to cars on off-roading. Our next sponsor here is Whoopsie Hair Ties. Whoopsie Hair Ties is where style meets resilience. They redefine the ordinary with their versatile, durable accessories, celebrate strength and uniqueness with every twist. Join and embrace the power of Whoopsie Hair Ties today. Their link is right below as well. If you have really short hair, maybe you definitely got a friend or a family member with long hair to use them. Next up, we have Reboot. Meet Charles W. Smith Jr., multi-award-winning entrepreneur, published author, and dynamic motivational speaker. With his powerful message, Reboot My Way of Thinking, Charles provides invaluable tools for gaining clarity on identity and empowerment. 2 very fucking important things, especially if you're starting a career in entrepreneurship. Connect with him at www.therebootbyjohn.com and start your transformative journey today. Link being put on below. And our final sponsor is Rock Solid Women's Empowerment Coaching. Meet Bonnie Hardy, your women's empowerment coach in Atlanta, Georgia. Specializing in mindset, gratitude, and personal development, Bonnie offers a unique approach combining vision boards with the wheel of life. Plus, she manages the Atlanta Airbnb property on site. Connect for your holistic empowerment today. Wow, that was fun. Go like and share, follow all their links, please. Help us out. Keep the show running. If you have any topics that you are struggling through and you need help with, please let us know. We will go out and get 3 awesome guests to answer that and throw that in on one of our shows. We'd love to have more topics if you want to be a guest. And we know you've got something to share. Please sign up. www.millionairesaremade.com. Link being dropped right now. Whew. And while we love doing this and bringing all these guests on that come on for free and we share all this information, it only works if we are getting enough of our shares, likes, subscriptions, all that kind of stuff. So please like and share us. And please reach out. I mean, if you think a tip sucks, let me know. I'd love to grow and learn right there with the rest of y'all. And while we love doing this show, if you do want a little more one-on-one, I do offer free coaching. You're welcome to sign up. That link is being dropped as well. And without further ado, that was a mouthful. We are going to move on to our first guest. This show is going to be mental health and pets. Pets like dogs and lizards and peacocks. Whatever you choose. We're moving on to Ben, who hopefully has a pet or at least a tip on a pet. Ben, who are you?
Hey guys, my name is Ben Terrell. I am a health insurance agent that does spend a lot of time helping folks find mental health resources when insurance companies make it harder than it really needs to be.
All right. Harder than it needs to be. Very cool. Well, Ben, if I wanted to improve my mental health with pets, what simple piece of advice would you give me?
Oh man, the one that I've seen with my own eyes is when people get a puppy or a kitten or even a rescue. and they're able to bring that new life into their family. And that reciprocal relationship really brings up your mood and your frequency.
Mood and frequency with that new puppy. Yeah, I mean, what about if you're in a dying relationship and you think a puppy will save it? Sorry, that's a different question. Hey, Ben, where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
So I've worked for a breeder and a vet clinic that was also a breeder. And I saw firsthand when people would come and pick out their new puppy or rescue, the way that the kids looked when they were picking out their very first pet, or even adults that just had moved to town and they needed somebody as a companion. The amount of love that animal shows you, it gives us all such a really cool feeling. Releases that oxytocin. We feel like we're just going to have a great day because we have someone at home that always loves us.
I love it. That's great. Yeah, I mean, do you think that wears off after time?
Probably the first time that you step in something that the dog or the cat left behind instead of in the litter box, that the frustrations do come. My backyard used to be beautiful, nice green grass, and now it's
Oh
all
boy.
tore up because our rescue loves to run around and tear up the yard. But you know what? He's a member of the family now,
How long
and
have you had him?
we've had him for close to 6 months. He was about 6 months when we found him on the streets in our town. A really big, thick collar and a little piece of broken chain hanging from that, and bites all over his body. He had all kinds of
Jeez.
digestive problems. We spent a lot of money with him at the vet, tried to find his owners. Nobody would claim him. And so we said, you know what? We love him. We fell in love with him. And so now he's part of the family.
Okay, well, this is going to be an interesting question. What happens in 2 years if the original owners see him and claim him as their own?
Over my dead body.
What if they have paperwork and the proof?
They won't. There was no chip in this dog, and unless they can prove it in the first month after, excuse me, after somebody finds the dog in this town, then the new owner can claim it as theirs. And so the law is going to be on our side this time.
So you get a month. All right, all right. Oh, and it was young. You said it was a puppy.
About 6 months old, the best we can tell. Yeah, the vet also said the same thing. So we did get him all of his shots. We cleared up all the digestive problems that he had and gave to the rest of our dogs. There was 3 dogs in total when we got him.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah, it was a zoo, a petting zoo here for a
Oh,
while.
every morning, get those pets in. So this is a chance fresh pet. You didn't even. Oh, by the way, fresh pet, isn't that the fresh food? Yeah, you should buy some of their stuff. They're a good company. So this is happenstance. You didn't even go out with intent. You just found this dog. It was a young puppy, and you were like, well, by chance, we now are puppy owners.
That's right. I was just out one afternoon getting my steps in, and somebody pulled up alongside me in their car and said, "Do you know this gray dog that's been walking down the street?" And I said, "Yeah, I know somebody who has a gray dog about that size." And when I got up to it, I said, that doesn't look familiar. So we took it in like we usually do when we find stray dogs, and we try to give them food and water and a blanket to sleep on until we can find someone that wants to take it. And we couldn't find anyone. We were all over the Facebook pages for the area. We talked to, I don't know what they're called, the Humane Society, what they're called here, but animal control as well as the police department. Nobody had reported a dog missing. And he's a very specific breed, a pit bull, and he was beautiful blue pit bull, which is a kind of a dark gray. And nobody claimed him. So if he was a purebred, which I believe he is, he should have been a fairly expensive dog. You would think somebody would claim him. But here in Florida, near Daytona Beach, there's a lot of people that come here seasonally, and they don't always bring their pets back home with them. So we think that some strays come from way up north, and people think, well, we bought this puppy, but he's so much trouble. And just leave him here.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Ben. Well, thank you so much for your wonderful insight. We're going to move on to our next guest here. Sandie. Sandie, who are you?
I'm Sandie Gasco. I'm an integrative healing practitioner. I'm the founder of the Integrative Healing Academy and the author of Heal Yourself. I help people all around the world heal from chronic illness. And in the academy, I actually teach people how to become their own practitioners and go on to start and build their business.
That's awesome. Wow. Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, Sandie, if I wanted to improve my mental health with pets, what simple tip would you give me?
So I'd encourage everybody with whatever type animal they have, when their animal is sleeping calmly or being calm. It's definitely hard to do with a little puppy or a little kitten, but when you catch them sleeping, take some time to just sit with them and do some deep breathing and really tune into the peace that they carry, because they feel very safe in their environment. They feel very comfortable. And a lot of times we're anxious. We have so many thoughts going on. So if we just sit in their space, don't wake them up, just allow them to be, and do some deep breathing and kind of tune into their energy, because it's pretty amazing that animals have their own magnetic field. We all do. For us and cats and dogs, it's a little bit smaller. It's closer to our bodies. But for me, I'm an equestrian and I love my horses. Now they have a very large magnetic field. And if you just go into their space and just be there, you can really change the way you're vibrating and you can tune into what they're feeling. So it's really cool, but we can do it with any pet. It just takes a little bit more tuning in. We do need to be a little bit closer, where as with horses, you can actually just go and stand with them while they're eating and it will change the way that you feel.
Wow. All right. So tune into their peace. I like that.
Yeah.
So you use horses, what you're saying, primarily.
I have dogs and my dogs are a little high energy, so it doesn't work as well, especially with my baby border collie puppy. There's not a lot of time she's really peaceful. But yes, for me, my horses, you could be having the worst day, you could be so stressed, and you could just go out and stand with them, put your hands on them, and their energy will just completely shift your vibration.
That is fascinating. I love it. I like when you say tune into their peace. So when your horses are sleeping, do you go hang out with them and just hold them?
Not often. The horses will sleep more laying down at nighttime. During the day, they'll stand and they'll be very peaceful. But as soon as I go out, they assume that I'm going to feed them, so they stop sleeping. But I do spend a lot of time in their space, brushing them, just rubbing them, scratching them. If they're eating, I'll just go stand with them, and it really brings your peace up and your stress down.
That's fascinating. All right. Well, where on your life journey did you learn this advice?
Over the years, it's just something when you're with the horses, as soon as you come into their energy field, you feel it. And what's really cool, they've done a lot of studies at HeartMath with the energetic field around horses and how it affects us. And it's why horses are used so much in therapy.
That's crazy. So you recommend everyone goes and buys a horse? Can they fit in apartments?
No, I definitely don't recommend everybody goes and buy a horse. They're very expensive. They require a lot of work, a lot of specialized care, but there are farms that you can go out, you can go and spend time with people's horses. You could take lessons. There's a lot of different therapy programs all around the world that you can go and connect with the horses. And you don't have to do it with horses. You definitely can do it with your dog, with your cats. Cats are really great too. They tend to be very peaceful, very calm animals. 99% of the time, they're usually pretty lazy. So we can really tune in with our cats also.
Do you do horse therapy? Do you like rent your horses out so people can touch them?
No.
But there's places that can happen.
There definitely are lots of places. Just like go Google therapeutic riding or therapeutic stables near me.
Well, that's enlightening. Very cool. Wonder if there's any on this island.
It's really, really expensive to have horses on the island.
I believe it. I don't know if there's any here. We do have a question for you. What's your favorite horse breed?
Oh, I love Andalusians.
Andalusians.
ANDUL USINS. I'm not the greatest at spelling.
Why?
They're very, very athletic. They're able and capable of doing high level dressage, but they're very much more down to earth than a lot of the warm blood breeds who can be incredibly energetic, incredibly powerful. Whereas the Andalusians, it's a much more calm energy with them. For me, I'm definitely feeling that I'm getting way too old to be doing warm bloods. I don't have an Andalusian right now, or I'd love any Spanish breed. So I think we have PREs and Lipizens. There's different Spanish breeds there. But for me, I have a draft cross and two thoroughbreds.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Sandie. We're going to move on to our next guest. Our next guest here is John. John, who are you?
My name is John Olson. I am an author of the Stranger Bridgerland book series. I also am a public speaker, and I also help people with marketing.
And you own 17 horses.
No, don't own any horses. No.
Well, you're on your way with me to go buy 17 horses.
That's right. That's right.
All right, John, if I wanted to improve my mental health with a pet or pets, what piece of advice would you give me?
So my biggest piece of advice for people is to do your homework before you go out and get a pet. Most people are right around there with a cat and a dog, and those are kind of the two that I've specialized in, I guess, through my life. And when it comes to cats, those are great for people who don't have as much time, but they want that affection every once in a while. Cats are very independent, and dogs are much more needy. They're much more, they have a lot more going on where you have to be with them. So my biggest tip is figure out what you're looking for, the time you have, what kind of support you can put into it. And then from there, go out and decide cat, dog, then go. If you're going to choose dog, you've got to go through, look at the breeds, look at, the temperament. And I would even suggest once you've narrowed it down to the breed you would like, go spend time with a litter beforehand and get to connect with one of them that's got the energy that you're looking for. Because even in amongst one litter of puppies, you're going to have everything from super calm to super hyper. And so it'll depend. Even like I said, a lot of breeds tend towards different things, being calmer, being better at this, being better at that. But even in amongst those puppies, there's going to be one in particular that connects with you. Go see them 2 or 3 times before you make your choice as to which puppy you want.
And if you're going to get a horse, go talk to Sandie.
That's right. Go talk to Sandie.
John, where on your life journey did you learn this information?
So I've had dogs and cats ever since I was little. Working on the farm, growing up out in the country, we always had cats, we always had dogs. And just through that, and also interacting with people who have made the wrong decision because they didn't have the time that they needed to take care of whatever, and just the sadness that can cause, and helping those people through that. That's why my biggest thing that I push is to make sure you do your research first, so you know at least kind of what you're getting into. So
awesome. Very cool. All right, John. Well, we're going to bring everyone else out and see if you guys like each other's tips. So we will start with Ben. Can you quickly refresh your tip for us?
Yeah, definitely. Go and get a new puppy or a new kitten and a rescue if you can, to definitely improve your mental health.
Or a baby raccoon.
Trash panda.
He agreed with the curveball. Sandie, what are your thoughts on Ben's tip?
We are actually, well, nobody knows this in my family, so hopefully they don't see this, but we're going to be bringing hi, Sandie's family. We're bringing home 2 kittens that nobody knows about next week.
Oh!
So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Already doing Ben's tip. I like it. All right, John, what are your thoughts on Ben's tip?
I love it. A puppy does bring so much happiness. A little kitten brings so much happiness. And as you do the work you need to take care of it as a little one, you get that bond that is really important. So I love it.
I love it. All right, Sandie, can you quickly refresh what your tip was?
My tip is to take some time in your pet's energy field. Just sit and allow them to be peaceful and kind of tune into their peace.
Tune into their peace. I like it. Energy that's more than just human. Ben, what are your thoughts on her tip?
I think it's great. One of our former presidents said that the best thing for the inside of a man is the outside of a horse.
I agree with that.
Who said that?
Reagan.
Oh,
Yeah. He was a big
Reagan
equestrian as
quote
well.
about horses.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. All right. John, what are your thoughts on her tip?
I love it. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats, and so if I'm having a stressful day, all I have to do is sit on the couch, and before long, I am not alone, and they're bringing some great energy, calm, cool, collective, and before long, I've reset. So I love it.
How many pets do you have right now, John?
I've got 4. I don't count the goldfish because he doesn't give a lot of energy, but 2 dogs, 2 cats. So
I mean, stick your face to that glass, watch them go around. Could be some peaceful zen, some
it is
calm
relaxing.
meditation.
Yeah.
Hey, John, can you quickly refresh what your tip was?
Yeah, my tip was when you're researching to get your pet, make sure you do your homework. Find and make sure that you're making the right decision for you and your family. Again, sit with the litter, or even when you're going to do a rescue, sit with several different rescues, because one's going to connect to you and one's going to be the one that you need and they need you. You just got to find out which one it is, but do your research so that you don't make regrets later on.
So when you do that, are you saying kind of feel their energy a lot? And
Yeah. Yes, definitely. It's
right, well,
energy. So
let's have Sandie talk on your tip then, if you both like energy.
Yeah, I love it because honestly, it's good for your mental health to do that ahead of time. If you're going to go out and bring home a new pet, that's going to be wild and crazy and drive you insane. It's going to be not great for your mental health whatsoever.
So let me ask, I guess this is for you and John. How much time do you think you need to spend? Let's say you're getting a new puppy or kitten and you're hanging out with the litter. You think like 3 visits at 20 minutes each is enough to know if it's for you?
I think with kittens and cats in general, they're going to be pretty easygoing for the most part. It's not tough to bring home a cat, but when it comes to a dog, if you're going to a rescue and it's an adult dog, you're going to know pretty quickly. If it's a puppy and you don't know the breed, it's going to be kind of hit and miss. You're going to be guessing. But if you're seeking out going to get a new puppy from a breeder, then you definitely want to do your homework. Like, I wouldn't recommend people go home and get a working border collie like I have. It's we live on a farm. We have the ability to really give her an outlet for her energy. But if you brought that into a small apartment, you would quickly lose your mind and your apartment.
John, go ahead and speak on that. I see your mouth trying to move.
No, that's exactly what I was kind of getting at and talking about with breeds and individual pets. You've got to look and do a survey of what you are looking for, what your situation is, and like you say, if you live in a little apartment, you don't want a border collie. And so for me and my family, we always sit down. When my animals all live really long lives. So, but when we do sit down and say we're going to get a new one, for some reason we always end up with a lab, because I just have this big heart for labs, and so they fit really. For example, they fit really well in my situation because they're great family dogs. They're very gentle. They're high energy at first, and then they calm down as they get much older. And I also do a lot of birding in the fall, and so that's a dog that I can have with my kids and then still take out birding in the fall. So
all right, Ben, you're up. What are your thoughts on that tip?
Absolutely. Do your research first. I used to help sell puppies on the internet back about 20 years ago, before anybody else was doing it. And one of the things I would tell people, because we focused on small breeds, your Yorkshire Terriers, Maltese, Poodles, Shih Tzus, the smaller breeds. And they're great for apartment living because you don't have to take them out and walk them. They get plenty of exercise zooming around the apartment. You don't need to go ahead and you don't need to take them anywhere. And the Bichon Frise, that's a great one for having around kids. In fact, they're used with autistic children for therapy. Very, very docile, except when you get too close to their kid, and then they get kind of protective. Otherwise, they're just wonderful dogs to have around children. Labs are known for being great around everybody, right? So those are a good breed. They're just big, and you need to make sure they get plenty of exercise. So a huge yard, or you need to walk them all the time. So just do your research based on your own, your own lifestyle. How is that pet going to fit in with what you're already doing? That way you're both getting a lot out of the relationship and both staying healthy.
We got a question from the audience. What are your thoughts about Huskies?
I don't like hair. So I go with smooth coated breeds. They're very vocal, and they do require a lot of exercise because they're dogs that are meant to have a job and pull. So if you're going to get one, you better have a job for it.
Absolutely. They're also high energy. My stepdaughter had one out on her farm, and even eventually that became not big enough for the husky. And so she was taken to an even larger farm with other huskies that she could hang out with.
And I would add to that too, if you're in a warm climate, be very careful because they overheat quickly because of all that fur. And even in cold climates, they'll want to sit on the porch and cool down in the winter because they like it a lot colder than most people. So keep that in mind too.
And they shed a lot. So be ready to eat hair constantly. Another comment from the audience. Even in video games, the Andalusians are magnificent.
We sure are.
When are you going to get one, Sandie? When are you going to get one?
Oh, they are very, very expensive.
All right.
Very, very expensive.
Okay, we have a question about golden retrievers. Thoughts on Goldens?
They're very similar to labs in a lot of ways. They are also, have that good energy, not super over energetic, but they're really one of the number ones for a family with kids because they are also really good with kids. So
yeah, great with kids. You can bring them around pretty much anybody, and they socialize well with other pets. They socialize well with strangers, except in the middle of the night, and they'll just bark at them. They probably won't hurt them. They probably won't protect you very well, but they're great for kids.
Yeah, and you also have to really think when you're getting a dog, is it a show line dog or a working line dog? Because a show line golden is going to be that family pet. A working line golden, probably not that family pet. So you want to consider that. The same with the labs. Labs, you have your show line and your working line, though there's a lot more overlap temperament-wise. I find that the working line Goldens are a lot more high drive. I personally used to compete in agility for a very long time with my Border Collies and my Jack Russell. I've trained dogs since I was 16. I just have since moved into more focus on horses. But you really do want to consider the difference in what that dog is being bred for.
Awesome. All right, guys, we are at the point in our show where we need to come up with a daily challenge. It needs to take less than 5 minutes a day, cost $0, and be available to anyone in the world from South Africa to Norway. Thoughts?
Go out of your way every day to pet a dog or pet a cat. And it doesn't have to be yours. It could be a neighbor's. But if you can't find an animal to pet, don't try to pet the barista at the coffee shop. There's laws against that.
And don't pet without asking permission.
Yes.
Don't just randomly walk up to people's dogs and start loving
Correct.
on them. You're going to get yourself hit.
I like petting baristas. I think that's a great daily challenge. Ben, we'll have to do that in another episode. Just
Right.
pet baristas.
Yeah.
So ask permission and pet an animal every day. I like that. That's a good one. A new animal every day. You can't just use the same neighbor with the same dog. Any other thoughts we got going on?
I think we should just have people spend some time with their animals in a calm, quiet state. Like just go and be in your animal's field. Personally, I don't let people pet my dog. I want my dog to stay focused on me. I don't want her to be running around and jumping on strange people. She's a very hyperactive Border Collie. I've taught her how to jump in my arms. So if you were like, come here, Latte, she'd be like, whoosh, right at your face. So, you know, definitely great to pet other people's dogs, but a lot of people like that actually really do a lot of training with their dogs, they're not going to want their dogs to just be pet by strangers.
One of our guests says that our challenge should be cuddling on the couch with your dog, which is almost exactly what Sandie just said.
Yeah.
So if you don't have an animal or a pet, maybe we do a little bit of both. John, any thoughts?
You mean if we don't have a pet, what to do?
I mean, we want this to be available to anyone. Maybe someone
Anyone.
Can go pet a random pet and then they fall in love and they go get their own pet and save a rescue, which would be an awesome resolution. But also, I mean, if you already have a pet, spending more cuddle time on the couch or listening to their peace or their energy and developing a stronger bond with your current pet also would help too.
Yeah, and I would also add, if you don't have pets or you don't feel comfortable with pets, a challenge you could have is actually to become more comfortable with pets, and that would go along with, you know, talking to people who do have pets, talking with people, you know, that are okay with you petting their dogs or something like that. And so to get out of that, a lot of people have bad experiences and then they hold on to those. And I think being able to, you know, get over that, whether it was being bitten by a dog when you were little or something like that, probably working on that, working up to being more comfortable with other people's animals. Then maybe someday you can get your own.
I like it. All right, so I think we're out of time. I think we're going to do ask permission and pet a new pet every day. And if you have a pet, then go ahead and spend your 5 minutes focusing on the inner peace of your pet and enjoying their time together. Does that sound like a solid daily challenge?
Solid.
Perfect.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, so World Traveler, you do that every day and you're going to accomplish it. Good job, my man. All right, we got our challenge. We've talked, we've discussed. Thank you all so much for coming. We are going to wrap up the show, put you guys backstage. And thank you all for watching another episode of Millionaires Are Made. Today we focused on mental health and pets. We learned a lot. Bottom line is you should have a pet. They're great for you if it fits your lifestyle. But number one thing is make sure you research and learn all about your pet beforehand. We talked a lot about horses and learned Andalusians are apparently like the best of the best. But in the end, you have to get a pet that fits you and your lifestyle, whether it's an iguana or a peacock or a tiny little mouse. Whatever it is, hopefully it'll bring you some peace and a good energy and help your mental health. Thank you for